Okay. Okay. Amin, I got it. Bismillah. Okay. I'm ready for that myself. So, everyone read Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Rabbi Zidni Ilma النافعة النافعة ربي زدني علما نافعا ربي زدني علما نافعا ربي زدني علما نافعا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم أيدنا بروح القدس. Okay. So I don't know, right?
It's on 5 minutes.
Okay. So we'll just start. So, tajweed. What is tajweed?
Grammar.
Grammar has nothing to do with tajweed. Grammar is adab. The Arabic grammar that we have is sarf, nahu, that's grammar. But tajweed has nothing to do with grammar whatsoever.
Tajweed is basically reading, I guess, the properly with the sahih gunnah and mod and things.
Yeah,
like
so technically, yeah, kind of. So tajweed is to, basically to put it in normal order, is to beautify the recitation of the Quran. Tajweed, to beautify the recitation of the Quran and pronounce all the letters with its due rights. Akhi,
Assalamu alaikum.
tell them how many times I asked about you. I left my phone, I'm just gonna call you.
I called you actually to see if it was going on today.
No, I said how is it not going on? So Tuesday, Wednesday, I want you to come for sure. Because remember last time you came, I want you to get that benefit. Because I remember last time you came, I don't feel like, because you know, this is one thing is that if you don't have it in your head that you're done, you'll never be done. You're gonna forget everything you learned. I don't know if you did forget or not. Did you forget? Or did you?
I went over it though. I got some.
Oh, you guys still got the same novel?
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So no, but it's just that when it goes in your head that, you know, I know it.
Yeah.
Every time you read Quran, you tell yourself, I know it, and then you just know it.
Yeah.
But if you didn't finish, even though you learned everything but like a little bit left, and we didn't say that it's done, you'd be like, oh man, I had some left. And then while you're reading, you're not gonna pay attention as much
100%.
as when you know that you know it.
Yeah.
That's why I have little kids, 6, 7 years old. You know, always know it, never. Actually, something funny happened. You know that dude that was here at Tanway? He's like a tajweed guy. You know? He goes all about hardcore tajweed, right? He has a whole book of tajweed. But I literally put all that book in 2 pages. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a big fan of his tajweed book that he gives to kids. Because kids look at them, oh my god, this is tajweed, oh my god, big deal. No, because it's not a big deal. So, you know how Ibrahim, right? Ibrahim, my cousin, he learned tajweed with me, personally, right? And he didn't learn with him. And one time, he came to Burma. Huh? No, it doesn't matter. One time he came to Burma. I was like, you know, we were just having a meeting, and he's telling Burma, oh, look at this. He's telling my uncle, oh, look at this test paper that the kids 6, 7 years, 10 years, no, not 6, 7, 10, 12 years old, they look at this, everything's right? And then my uncle's like, oh, can Ibrahim not do that? He's like, no, he's not able to do that. He did not do class with me, so there's no way he could do this, right? I was like, what are you talking about? Let me see. Ibrahim was sitting right in there. I was like, come here. How's go get that? Like this. No, go get that. Go this. Go get that. He's like, you know, and I was like, you sure? Because I was actually not sure. And we were both in the same page, me and the other guy, and he was actually right. I was like, he's like, ikhfa. I was like, what type of ikhfa? I was like, no, ikhfa. Like, check again. Like, oh, no, it isn't. That's ikhfa, right? So he knew the whole thing. And then he's like, oh, okay. Maybe he came to my class a couple of times. You know, he's what, 8 years old. He barely wants to read. He just sits there and doesn't study. He knows his stuff. Now he's not implementing as much, but he knows it, right? He knows it inside out. I cannot forget it. That's what I say to everybody, that this is something that if if you learn it in such a way, there's no way you can forget it. Only thing you could do is that not read. That's up to you. No one can tell you not. So if you read, you'll know. If you just read like even once a week, you'll know. If you just let it go forever, maybe you forget it. But if you just keep up like once a week, twice a week, you'll never forget these things. It's very easy. Anyways, let's go back to the definition. Do you remember the definitions that we did? Do you remember anything of that?
I probably have to hear it. I'm not sure.
Okay, so just to recap, it's very simple. Like you're kind of close. That is just to what tajweed does is to beautifies the recitation, beautifies the reading of Quran, and makes sure that what all the letters come out from the right place. That's what it is. Or give all the letters its rights. Let's say your name is what?
Shakib.
So I said Shakib. Different pronunciation, right? So that's wrong. I mean, I'm not giving your name its right, right? It's Saqib. I mean, if I say, even if some people, I'm pretty sure some people call you, I don't know if it's Shakib or anything. Let's say your name is Wali. Wali. Actually, your name is Wali, but everyone call him Wali. Wali is not even a name. There's no such letter in Arabic. O. It's Wa. So Wali, right? Your name is Opu. I don't even know where that come from. But what's your normal name? What's the normal name? Nushad. So let's say if we say At or something, right? Anyways, and then you have Ihsan Bhai. Someone says Ihsan. Even they're so close. But again, that's not giving the name or the letters its due rights. So again, very simple. Tajweed just means to recite the Quran properly, just put in simple words, and pronounce all the letters properly. How about that? It's easy, right? Recite the Quran properly, pronounce all the letters properly. Simple as that. Because in Arabic you have similar letters. Let's say, can you name similar letters? One set of similar letters.
Ha.
Exactly. Ha and ha. Can you name something else? Kaf, Qaf. Yeah, right. And you have Dal, Za. You have Dal and you have Za, right? You have Sin and you have Tha. Shin is yeah. Sin, Shin, no one gets confused with Sin, Shin. Everyone gets confused with Sin and Tha. So if someone says like Sama, or if someone says Alif, Ba, Ta, Sa, everyone say Sa, but it's not Sa. When you say Ta, Tha, you have to stick your tongue out. Stick your tongue out. So, anyway, so that's tajweed. So, let me tell you guys this. When it comes to tajweed, I need you to tell yourself that is something so easy. Since you guys are already born Muslim, you guys have some type of background in Quran and here and there, it'll be so much easier. So, when you come to class, or when you come here, have in your mind that whatever you're going to learn is going to be the easiest thing ever learned. And it's something you learn that there's a little bit of memorization, but other than that, there's nothing else, right? So there's literally, you can name like maybe 3-4 things. I might be missing something that you need to learn in order to recite the Quran properly, right? First thing first is what? Can anybody say?
The letters.
Exactly. Pronunciation of the letter. If you know all the tajweed in the world, you don't know how to pronounce the letter, it's not gonna work for you, right? So pronunciation of the letter. That's where the letter comes from and stuff. I personally don't like to get deep into makharij. Makhraj. That's a learned term. You guys can write that down. Something called makhraj, right? Makhraj is basically the place where the letter comes out from. You guys already know that. So you guys maybe already know that. Yeah, the makhraj, the place where the letter comes from, right? So that will be makhraj. So one of the main thing in reciting Quran, when you want to learn how to read Quran, is to learn the makharij or makhraj. Makharij will be the plural of makhraj, right? Makhraj mean where the letter comes out from. Makharij is just the plural of makhraj, where all the letters come out from. So that's one thing we need to learn. But I personally don't like to get deep into makharij, because many of us know literally the pronunciation of the letters, except few letters. Let's say like Ain or Ha, Kha, Ghain. Ghain is one letter that everyone has wrong pronunciation. So I'm not gonna get into that. We're just gonna fix it as we go on, one letter at a time or something. So let's say, but one of the things I'll tell you guys that you have to practice, there's three letters that 90% of Desi people say wrong. I would say maybe 95%. Can anybody guess what the letter, what the letters are?
Line.
No.
Oh,
One is a problem general, not Desi.
Then.
huh?
Dal.
Ba.
Dal. And you have what is similar to dal?
Ba.
Tha. Yes. And then another one is
What?
Wa. Good job. These are the three letters that everyone literally, I myself, used to pronounce it wrong until like literally 5 years ago, right? So that's why one of my little students, I tell them, fix it from now because later on, you're gonna have to fix it. So these are the letters, three letters. These letters, when you pronounce it, you have to stick your tongue out a little bit. So this is a sa. You're not sticking your tongue out, right? So what you do is stick your tongue out right in front of your like teeth right here, and you touch it slightly. You don't say tha. I mean, even that is right actually, but you touch it slightly and you say tha. So say tha, tha. Yeah, stick your tongue out. Now say sa. No, sa, normal. You see the difference? Now, everyone will say sa, ta sa. It's not sa. So it's tha. Say tha. Tha, yeah.
Third.
And then we have dal. What's after dal?
Ba.
Dal. Stick your tongue out. Dal. Now say zal. You see the difference? Zal and dal. So you have that and za. But there's already a letter that is after ra is za. That's actually strong. You don't stick your tongue out in that one. You have dal, say dal, and you have za.
Za.
Za. That's actually strong.
Za.
Za, yeah. And then you have dha. That's a little hard. So you have tha. What's after tha?
Wa.
La. But when you say la, again, little bit of, you need to stick your tongue out a little bit. La. 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 Yeah, that's it. So little bit full mouth and so la. So you have tha, 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 la, tha. That. So these are the three letters that we have to work on. Let's say a'udhu billah. If you say a'udhu billah, how do you say a'udhu billah or a'udhu billah? So when you read, it's a little harder to say dhu than when you're just saying it just like that. So remember that. When you sing a'udhu billah, from now on, every time you say a'udhu billah, make sure your tongue is coming out. And if it doesn't come out, take it out more. Even you can do that, but it'll be a little harder. But the main point is to bring it out and touch it slightly. A'udhu. Say a'udhu. Not just say a'udhu.
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 That's it. So these are three letters we have to focus on, right? And then you have some of the letters like ayn, right? Ayn, and then kha, gha. I don't want to get into all that right now. Seriously, like I said, when we get into the rules, then we can come back to that any time we need to. So remember, these are the letters. So this is that again. I want to go over the makhraj of this letter, meaning where does this letter come from. This is come from the middle of the throat. We can do that later. Seriously, I don't want to get into that. We can do that later. But remember that every letter has its place of coming out, and you can know that too. Like you can say, this say ghain or kha, or they come out from there, and then you have so kha would come out from here, and then ghain would go a little bit down, right? Or we'll just practice that while we read instead of just learning. So that's that again. So what was the definition of tajweed we have?
Is to beautify the recitation of the Quran.
And
Pronounce
all the letters
correct.
correct. Yeah. So pronounce all the letters correctly, right? So and then you have you have tha, dal, and dha. We just learned, right? This is how you pronounce it. So every time you say alif, ba, ta, tha, make sure you say tha. Every time you say a'udhu, make sure you stick your tongue out and say a'udhu. And then every time you say dha, al-zalimi, you say dha. Anyways, so that's something very simple, right? You should remember that. Yeah.
Law.
Law. Yeah. You just have to start. So look, this is something you can't forget, right? Can you? Now you learn how to say it to it. Can you ever forget it? You might not be saying it 100% properly, but you know how to do it. You know what to do, right? You know that, and that, and la, you can stick your tongue out. That's it. You just know it forever. That's not something you forget. Like when you learn how to swim, you don't forget it. So many things will be like that. That you learn it, you can't forget it. That's that. So tajweed means to recite the Quran properly, beautify the recitation of the Quran, and pronounce all the letters properly. That's what tajweed means. Remember that, okay?
Write it down.
We just did that. You can write it down later. It's too long. Too pages. So now, what did I say? So in tajweed, forget tajweed. In learning how to read the Quran properly, there's few things. I'm not gonna say many things because it's technique, not many. So one of the things we said is what? The first thing for us, one of the first things is what? Learning the Quran properly. One of the first thing you need to do is what? Pronounce the letter properly. That's the thing. So you need to learn makhraj. You need to learn where the letters come from. We're not gonna touch that too much right now. We just learned a little bit. We'll go to next. Now we have makhraj, and then you have other things as well, but I'm gonna name like big things. So you have makhraj. So you learn the letters. That's the first thing. And obviously then you need to know how to connect the letters. That's something we do in Qaida, right? Most of us know it, how to connect the letters, right? Let's say if you see it, you can see it. So like I said, that's why we don't have to go 0-0. You know, if you have ba alif over ba, or ba fatha ba sin over bas, things like that, we learned it, and it just in the back of our head we know it. And if someone has a problem with it, we can sometimes later on look at it with the qaida and stuff. So obviously the second thing would be how to put them together. Most of us we know it, right? How to put the letters together. And then you would have now you would come to literally after that you come to tajweed. Even that is kind of part of tajweed, but so in tajweed we'll have literally a couple things, okay? To make gunna or not to make gunna, right? So either make gunna or you don't make gunna. You make it long or you don't make long. So you make gunna, don't make gunna, make gunna, don't make gunna, and how much to make gunna, how long, right? This is one thing, literally gunna, how much gunna, and no gunna. And then you make it long or you make it short. You make it long, how much long is different. You can make it 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So you make it long, and then you learn how much long you make, and then or you don't make it long at all. These are the literal thing you need to learn to have 50% of tajweed done. You just need to learn when you make gunna, how much to make gunna, and when not to make gunna. And you have when to make it long, how much to make long, and when not to make it long. This is literally 56% of tajweed. You understand? This is not rules, but I'm just saying this is the basic things that you will be learning. And then you have some of the things such as bouncing a letter. If some type of letters is the qalqala, we know, some of us, that you just bounce that letter easy. And then you'll have sometimes you'll have two letters combining it together, putting it together. That'll be one of the harder thing we learn. It'll be easy though when you learn it. So that's it. So I want you to write that down. I want you to write, there's literally two main things you'll be learning. Is that make gunna, how much make gunna, and when not to make gunna. And then you make it long, how much long, and not to make it long, right? So these are the two main things, and altogether 6 things that you'll be learning primarily. So you make gunna, how much, and no gunna, or don't make gunna. Or you make it long, how long, or don't make it long. That's it, literally. So usually, essentially, we always start with when to make it long, right? So actually in Quran, one thing is to recite it beautifully, and one thing is to recite it properly. So the many things in Quran, if you don't do them, like you could literally, one of the main things you should learn. Remember that it's called obviously mud. Right? Mud means to make long. We'll learn it later. Don't write it. We'll do that later. That's and there will be one type of mud. We'll do that later. Meaning, when you make it long, there's many types of making long. Like I said, right? Make it long 1 second. You can do 2, 3, 4. I think 6 up to 6. So that one type of making long, if you don't do, it can change the meaning 100%. So you see, tajweed, when it comes to tajweed, many a times if you don't use it properly or if you don't read it properly, it can change the meaning. That's why it's so important to learn, right? So let's say I'll give you a small example. In Arabic, la means no. If you say la af'alu, meaning I will never do. But if you say la af'alu, meaning I will definitely do. You see the difference? Say la asjudu, I will not make sajda. And if you say la asjudu, meaning I will definitely make sajda. Do you see the difference? Imagine you said, when you're supposed to say I'll do, you said you make it long, you said I'll never do. Or when you're not supposed to do and you say you make it short, you make it short, you will mean I will definitely do. That's how big difference it can make. Many of our students, even right now, they know 15, 20 Jews, they'll make some mistakes. So it's very important to remember that. So again, I'm coming from the perspective of grammar and tajweed. Right? So we're putting them both together. Some people would teach tajweed and know tajweed, they have no idea about grammar, Arabic grammar. Arabic grammar is something very, very, so when you put it together, it's very understandable, right? Tajweed, you learn tajweed from many places, many people, but then you will see, you'll just be told, don't do this, do this. But sometimes when you actually know why you shouldn't do this or why you should do this, you actually pay attention more, right? Anyways, so that's that, right? Again, two main things. What to make? Gunna. How much make gunna? How much to make gunna? And don't make gunna. And you have make it long. How long? Or don't make it long. Simple as that. So we'll start with the first part, right? So for making gunna or not making gunna, right? So we'll just take one at a time. We'll divide all that into 3. So we'll keep 3 primary chapters, I would say, right? So first chapter will be first chapter will have both when to make a gunna and when not to make a gunna, and how much is sometimes how much gunna is not as important and as doing gunna or not gunna, right? So sometimes you can just do gunna a little bit, sometimes you do a little more. But when you learn when to do it and when not to do it, you will see it will just fall into places. But when it comes to making a long, it's more important to know how much to long. But when it comes to gunna, you can most likely you say either make gunna or don't make gunna. How much gunna is not very important as much as, right? So we'll start with first group of rule. Alright? So you guys can write first group out of 3. Go. Obviously, when you're writing, you should understand what you're writing. So what you're writing right now, you guys keep writing that we're gonna primarily learn 3 chapters of tajweed, right? 3 different in 3 different chapters. Again, it's not even tajweed; it's like the basicest thing ever, right? The most basic thing ever. So it'll be first chapter, second chapter, and third chapter. So you guys learning first chapter today. We're gonna start first chapter today. So write first chapter. First chapter will have 4 rules.
4.
Yeah, in first chapter we'll have 4 rules. Alright, so now again you guys need to write the first chapter. Just write first, and then this chapter is called the rules of Nun Sakin and Tanween. This chapter, first chapter, will be called the rules of Nun Sakin and Tanween.
Is it Nun Sakin?
Yeah, Nun Sakin. Nun Sakin. Just spell it out. Nun Sakin and Tanween. That will be the first chapter. You have some of the things already from before?
Alhamdulillah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So how many rules did we say we have in the first group?
4.
4. What is it, chapter?
First chapter have
Yeah,
4
chapter. You can just say group, but whatever. Chapter, group, same thing. But group sounds better. So first group of rules will have how many rules?
4.
4 rules. And what's the first group name?
Nun Sakin and
Nun
Tanween.
Sakin and Tanween. Now, do you know what a Nun Sakin is?
When you not pronounce Nun.
No, just tell me what a Nun Sakin is. Sajab, there's nothing to know, literally. What's a Nun Sakin?
If you use a different word, they're gonna understand. Sukoon.
No, they understand Sakin.
Is that okay?
Sukun, we never know
You
Sukun.
don't know Sukoon?
Sukun is an Arabic, yes.
Oh, okay.
What's a Nun?
Noon, when the thingy is on top of noon, and then you have to basically make it gunna.
I didn't ask you that.
Then
I said what's a Nun Sakin?
noon sakin.
Yeah.
What's the definition?
Noon sakin. Kuno fire izharar
Nun Sakin and Nun with the Sakin. That's called the Nun Sakin.
noon. I'm to one will to.
It's simple, keep it simple.
That's what I
And
said.
Nun, you guys know letter Nun, right?
Noon,
If
noon
Nun
with
has
the-
a Sakin on top, you guys know what's a Sakin, right? You know how a Sakin looks like? Like a it's like a
upside
thing
down
V.
V.
Yeah, up and down. V is like that. No, Sakin like that. You guys know what's a Sakin, right?
Or does it? The Sukoon is the circle too sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes it could be circle, but usually it's. So again, you guys know Nun, which is a letter, and Sakin, you guys know that's a sign of Arabic. So all these things you see in Arabic, Zawar, Zer, Pesh, all that, those are called signs actually. That's, they're called Arab, but we'll learn that later. So Nun Sukun is the Nun with the Sakin. Nun with the Sakin, that's called the Nun Sakin, right? And Tanween, you know Tanween, right? What's Tanween? You know that one.
Kuno izhar sharafir horafir.
Do you know what's Tanween?
Yes. The harakat with the 2 harakats, like the
Yeah.
fatha,
Fathatain.
fathatain, dhammatain, kasratain. Yeah.
So also, inshallah, slowly, it's not very important, but from Zabor and Zer and Pesh, we will come to the Arabic term, which is Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma. So you guys learned that before? If you didn't, then we'll keep it like that, because we can learn that later. So, Dui Zabor, Dui Zer, Dui Pesh, basically. When you have Dui Zabor, Dui Zer, and so double Zabor, Zabor Zer, Zabor Pesh, it's called Tanween. Remember that, you can write that down. Double Zabor Zer Pesh is called Tanween. It's double. So if you already know it, you should know. So that's what we have, like we have Nun Sukun and we have Tanween.
Ispesh, Zawar, and Zer is an Arabic word or is it?
No, it's
Or
not. It's
something
some
mean better.
random DC word. Yeah, if you guys want to learn it, the Pesh is Dhamma, Fatha is Zabor, and Kasra is Zer. Right, so it's even a little, little guys over there. I mean, if you learn it like that, you remember it like that. So you have Fatha, Zabor, Dhamma, Pesh, Kasra, Zer. If you just look at, like say it every day, like 2-3
And
times,
what's
you'll know.
Zer?
Kasra.
Kasra. Fatha, Dhamma, and
Fatha,
Kasra.
Dhamma, and Kasra, yeah. Zawar, Zer, Pesh. So Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma, you can say. So Fatha is Zawar, Dhamma is Pesh, and Kasra is Zer.
Zer.
So we have the first group, Nun Sakin and Tanween. We'll get into that. We're going a little too slow, but that's fine for today. So the first rule of Nun Sakin and Tanween. How many rules do we have in Sukin Tanween?
4.
4.
4. The first rule. Write down. Let's just learn it first. We guys write it down later. The first rule of Nun Sakin Tanween is called what, Oli? You know what?
What?
First rule of Nun Sakin Tanween. The first ever rule you ever learned. You know this.
As a
Yeah,
what?
son.
It's hard.
Izhar. You heard this one, right? Alright. So first rule is called Izhar. You can write first and Izhar, and then I'll explain the whole thing, then you guys can write it. You know? I'll explain the whole thing, and then you guys can write it in your own words. Don't write it if you don't know it. That's what I'm trying to say. When you know it, you should write it. Know it while you're writing it, tell yourself the same. So first rule you have is Izhar. You guys write later. We're gonna right now go through the whole Izhar. It's very simple. You will see how simple it is. You'll know this is how all the words. Izhar means to actually we say read clearly. Izhar means to read clear. But in Arabic, Izhar actually means to show. To show something. Now, when you're showing something, meaning you're making it clear, right? If I go like this, I'm making this thing clear. So just remember, Izhar means to read something clear. Whenever you have the rule Izhar, meaning you're reading clear. Now, just so that you don't understand, remember, I'm pretty sure I told you guys that before. What is not clear?
What is what?
What is
Not
clear?
If I say read clearly, what is not reading clearly? One. Understand? No. If I say anta, it sounds unclear, right? I hear like you hear the song. So nose, remember, nose is not clear. If you have nose, meaning not clear, right? And izhar meanings what? To read?
Clear.
Meaning izhar has what? No nose. Remember that. And where's ghunna come from?
No.
Izhar means to read clearly. Nose means unclear. So izhar is not
No.
nose. It's very easy. So again, don't worry about all that. Just when you know it, you will see it. Izhar means to read.
Clear.
What is unclear?
Gunna.
Ghunna. Simple as that. But sometimes you hear what is clear. Right? If we just say the opposite, no. We tried it before. Many people it made it easy for them. So izhar means to read clearly. Now, when do we do izhar? And why do not why do we do it? When do we do izhar? And how do we know basically? So again, when you learn these rules for next 4 rules, will have properties. Meaning each rule will have its own
Property.
meaning own
Letters.
letters. Yes. Each rules have an own letter. So izhar means to read.
Clearly.
Izhar has 6 letters. How many?
6 letters.
6 letters.
Do you know them?
Hamza, ha, kha, ain, ghain.
Yes. Did you learn a different way? Hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha, like that? Is that how you learn it?
No.
How do you learn it?
I gotta hear Hamza, ha, kha, ain, ghain.
That's good. So these are the 6 letters of Izhar. Right? Did you ever learn them before?
Probably did.
Just write under 6 letters and write these letters right now. You can write the letters in letter form, or you can write it in English too, like Hamza. You know how to write it? Okay. We have to fix that. Remember, we were using it before, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring it.
We just need some markers, and we need to find a way to clean this.
I'll bring it.
No, I checked. There's nothing there.
Nothing back there?
You bring what?
I'll just bring a new one.
How are you gonna put it?
Just general.
So then they go. No, the thing is
We can just bring those thing one.
It's okay. Go
Like Uwa Korea de Korea.
Oh yeah. If you do that, it will be
I'll
easier.
just bring it tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. That will be easier. We'll just
Izhar has 6 letters.
6 letters.
Yeah, because a lot of this you're saying Daghaile.
Taghani is way easier. I love Taghani. It makes it easier for people.
You wrote it down.
You wrote the letters or no?
Oh, this is like remember.
Yeah, you're not gonna forget that. Yeah. That's something easy. Okay, let's go. So you have Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ain, Ha, or Hamza, Ha, Kha, Ain, Ghain. Did you have all the, what did you have?
Hamza, ha, gha, ain, ghain.
Ha, Gha, kita, Kha, Kha,
Hamza ha ain.
Ghain. Then you can say Ha, Kha.
Hamza ha ain ghain.
Ha,
Ha. You have the Hamza ha, and you have ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually we learn Hamza ha ha kha and then Ain Ghain. That's how we do. That's fine. That's fine. So these are the 6 letters of Izhar. All on the Balagh. Easy. Easier.
I'll just put it up like right there or something.
Okay. Well, you have one, or are you just thinking gonna get one?
No, I'll just get one.
Get one, khalti. Acha. So these are the 6 letters, right? So now we know Izhar. We know the meaning of Izhar, right? What does Izhar mean?
Read correct, clearly.
Yeah. Remember, don't get mixed up with Tajweed and Izhar. Some people, I don't know why I get mixed up. So again, clearly meaning no.
Gunna.
And the Gunna in English, what is it called? Does it know? Nasal sound. The nasal sound. That's the nasal sound. Because nakhadi is annoying. Like some people speak from their nose. It's pretty annoying. I used to read for my nose. Like I had a bad problem. I used to read like that.
Constant gunna.
Eh?
Always in gunna.
All those gunna. Even it's not gunna, but it's unclear, right?
Oh.
That's exactly what it is, unclear.
Yeah.
So it's hard means to read it clearly without gunna, right? We all know that. Now, how do you know when to do it? We know the properties of izhar, which is how many? 6. Hamza, ha, kha, ain, ghain. So it's very easy. You start with Hamza, and you go ha, and then big ha, and then you go kha, and then ain, ghain. Right? These are 6 of izhar. So now we know the letters, we know the meaning. Now, when do we know to apply this rule? And what's the rule to apply?
Noon second time.
What's the rule to apply?
It's hard.
Read it clearly.
Read clearly. The rule to apply, we're trying to apply, is reading clearly, right? Now, when do you read clearly? We know the letters, but when does it take place?
One.
Now we have this rule is called what? This group of rule is called what?
It's hard.
Group of rule is called?
It's hard.
The group of rule that we're doing is what?
Noon second time.
Nun sakin and tanween. This is one of the rule from that group, right?
Yeah.
So nun sakin and tanween, remember that. Out of these 4 rules, all rules will have something to do with
Noon second time.
nun sakin and
Tanween.
tanween. Nun sakin and tanween. So if you don't have that, those rules will not come into place. So again, we have the letters. So now we look at nun sakin and tanween. Now this is something you just have to understand a little bit. So when does izhar take place? Izhar takes place when? After a nun sakin and tanween. After a nun sakin or tanween. Remember that. Not nun sakin and tanween. After a nun sakin or a tanween. So it could be nun sakin or it could be a tanween. So after either a nun sakin or a tanween comes one of the 6 letters of izhar. That's when you read it clearly. Now, what is it?
The letter after.
The phrase.
No.
It's 100% wrong.
No.
No, look at that
The
wrong.
phrase.
No, the letter, one of the 6 letters.
Remember this.
Oh, you're not gonna put gunna on nun sakin or tanween.
Yes. Nun sakin and tanween are the basically subject here. Alright? We're all learning the rules of who? Nun sakin and tanween. So basically we're learning how to read nun sakin and tanween. Remember that.
Okay, yeah.
How to read nun sakin and tanween. So every rule will be implemented on what? Nun sakin and tanween. It's very simple. If you guys just put it in your head, it'll be easy. Look. So we have this group is called what? Nun sakin and tanween, right? All 4 rules are coming just to tell you, yo, when nun sakin and tanween comes, you either do gunna or you don't do gunna. So all we're learning in this group of rules is what? How to read nun sakin and tanween. And what is how to? In how to, there's only 2 answers.
Gunna or without
Gunna or no. Simple as that. You understand? That's how we do. So out of these 4 rules, we learn the first rule, and the first rule is to do gunna or not to do gunna. What is it? The first rule that we're doing is what?
Not do gunna.
Not to do gunna. And that is called what?
Izhar.
And when do we do it? Saqib, can you say? When do you make nun sakin and tanween not gunna? Meaning izhar. When do we do izhar?
When we get six letters
Yes.
for tajweed.
Yes. 6 letters of
Ham-
izhar.
Izhar, yeah. Hamza, ha.
Though you don't have to say the letters, you can have to memorize it later. So these 6 letters, what happened? What about them?
You don't make gunna.
When? What does this 6 letters have to do with anything? How?
After either noon second or.
Yes, that's the main part. When we see these 6 letters of izhar, after what? Noon second tanween. Because remember, we're talking about noon second and tanween. How to read noon second and tanween. If you leave out noon second and tanween from the subject, then we don't even have anything to work with, right? So again, when these 6 letters come after a noon second or tanween, then what happens?
You don't.
No one
No gunna.
No gunna on what?
on the new second.
On the noon second and tanween. So again, these rules of our noon second, how to read noon second tanween. So again, when after a noon second or a tanween appears one of these 6 letters, right away we go back to noon second and tanween and not read it.
With the one.
You're not with it. And how are you gonna read it? Clearly with no
No one.
one. Let's say an example. I'll give you an example and you can. If I were to say man khafa, to answer the question to you, man khafa, do I read man khafa or man khafa?
And the khafa.
Why?
Because it's
Everyone listen. Why?
because the khafa comes after the noon second.
When you're saying man, can you guys picture what the letters are in man? Mim and a noon sakin. Mim and a noon sakin. Man, right? Man. So mim, noon, zabor, man. So we have a noon sakin. And right after that we have a what? Khafa. So we have a noon sakin. See, if I write that, it would be so much easier. If I have a noon sakin, right after that, if I have a kha, is hard. Therefore, this noon sakin will have no.
One.
No. Now, if you see any noon sukun or tanween ever, and after the letter, right after the letter, if you see any of the 6 letters with zahar, you'll never make humma. You understand what I'm saying? Now imagine you ever open the Quran. You don't have a Quran, but just open the Quran anywhere. You want to just get a Quran? You have wudu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, why don't you find me a izhar rule right now, anywhere, and read it to me a little bit. Open anywhere. Find an izhar rule and read it to me. Remember, the key things we're looking at is nun sukun, nun sakin, or tanween. What is tanween again?
Read clearly.
Copy, what is tanween? No.
Oh,
Tanween, what is tanween? Nun sakin or tanween we said, right? So what is tanween? You're looking for nun sakin and tanween.
Tanween is a double Z,
Double, exactly.
Double.
So we're looking at that. Because remember, if you don't see that, then those 6 letters have nothing to do with anything if you don't see what? Nun sakin or tanween. So if you just some random kha, we don't care about that. We have to see if before that is nun sakin or tanween or not. Yeah, read it.
ولو أنهم
Walau anhum? Anhum?
yeah.
You sure? Is there shadda or a sukoon?
Oh, sorry, it's shadda.
Exactly. Come on, it's sakin. Remember, shadda and sakin is 2 different things.
Really?
Yeah.
But you know, to Izhar Ibran.
No, how is it gonna have isa? It's 100% gunna.
How you know about it?
But there's no noon sakin. Where's noon sakin?
Oh.
We have to remember that. You have to find noon sakin first. Or noon sakin or what?
Shadda
Tanween. Shadda is not sakin.
So even if Izhar letter comes after
Shadda has nothing to do with anything.
so
If
any
you read it,
shadda you're supposed to make gunna?
shadda is a whole different rule. You make 100% gunna. This is where you come and say like how much make gunna you make. And is the most gunna you make there. Yes.
من let's see.
Yes.
من أطاع من أطاعي من أطاعي
Yeah. So min, what's after that?
من
What letter is that?
عين.
Ain. Exactly. So you found min, which is a nun sakin, and you have ata'i, you have ain after that. So you're not gonna say what? Can you read what you're not gonna say?
من أطاعي.
Understand? So you can't do min. Why? Because after a nun sukun came a letter of izhar, which means not to make
Gunna.
gunna. Simple as that. You understand, OP? Did you not find anything? Go to the next page. Go to any other page. Find something.
I found one, I think.
Yeah, read it.
Min qablu.
Yes. What?
Min qablu.
Qaf is the letter of what?
Oh, no, never mind.
That's ikhfa. We're gonna learn that later. Most will be gunna, and very less is not gunna. When it comes to noon sakin, remember that it's just a bonus something you're gonna. When it comes to noon sakin rules, most of the time you will make gunna. Very only 6 out of what? What letter? How many letters? Remember like the day? How many letters were there?
Like 26 letters?
28.
28. Eh? What is it?
قالوا إنك
Inna kapita.
Inna no.
Inna wala noon sukun khana baba.
Inna.
Noon sukun or tanween dekhta na. Tumi best find one. Don't go too fast. You literally find each line. You should find one, almost. Look for noon sakin and look for tanween. Noon sukun or tanween.
Nun sakin pa yun, বেশিরভাগ ইখফা থাকে।
Yeah, Beshibag Fata, that's the thing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, itu tuh pada home terhasal. Alah, deh, askar malah itu.
شابتر ولا ربيع
Ayo, ayo, aku. You know what? I don't want to waste too much on that. You guys understood or no?
Yeah, I think I got it.
You got it? That took it a couple. What are the 6 letters are?
Like, Hamza, Ha.
To me, oh, Shadda, Sakinul lagi Bengal lagi. Shadda,
Shadda will
W.
I found one. What about
like
Hamza
Yeah,
and Alif
I
are
got you.
considered the same, right?
There's no letter as Alif. It's
Yeah.
always Hamza. If remember this again, if there's an Alif, you think it's an Alif, and if there's a Wajr Pesh, it's always a Hamza.
Okay.
So Alif is not a
Letter.
letter. Remember that Alif is actually when you read Alif Bata, it's Hamza Bata. Because actually Alif is not letter, it's just a mad. Alif it just comes straight like this. Nothing top or bottom.
So if there is
What about
Alif with anything on top or bottom is Hamza. 100%.
Okay.
Always. Yes.
but you still read with no Gunna then.
Yeah.
in Adri.
Yes, wa in adri. Yeah. So you have noon sakin. Come. You have look. You have noon sakin, right?
Uh-huh.
Right after that is what letter?
Hamza.
Not alif. Hamza. Remember that.
Hamza, okay.
Whenever alif has zawajr pesh, just remember that.
That's
It's
Hamza.
Hamza always.
Okay.
So wa in adri. So you're not gonna read how. You.
We're gonna read clearly, not good now.
How you gonna? How you not gonna read it?
Wa in
Yes.
Adri.
Yes. You're not gonna do that. Why? Because Hamza is letter of izhar. Therefore, after second came a Hamza. Just gonna read wa in adri. What is it?
Wa
You see
in
that?
Adri.
Similarly, you'll have something like that for tanween as well. Is it Shadam? It's not Shadam, right? Shadam is 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, we have some time. Alright, so that's that,
I
right?
can read it, but I mean, please.
Okay, you don't find it?
This is the one, right?
Let me see. Yes, 100%. Good job.
Yeah.
You see that? What is that? What is that called?
Double pair.
No, don't call that. What is that called?
Oh,
No. What is that called? We just learned that for today.
This is hard. No, tanween.
Tanween, yes.
Tanween, okay.
Always, whatever you learn,
Tanween.
you implement right away.
Okay, tanween.
Don't call that double pesh. Call that what?
Tanween.
So after tanween came what?
Okay, I'm
Ayn. Therefore, this tanween, when you read naba'un, are you gonna say naba'un or naba'un? Naba'un azim. It's not gonna be naba'un. Why? Because after tanween is a letter of
is hard.
izhar, which means to make
Is
clear.
which
No.
say no gunna.
You see how simple it is? Does everyone understand izhar?
No, I understand.
Now, when you understand izhar, it will be very easy to understand the rest of the rules. So today we're gonna do one more rule because we can't just do one rule of the whole group. We have 3 groups. Whoa. Alright, do you understand izhar? You should properly?
Yeah.
So I would really appreciate it if you guys go back, right, whichever day, and if you have some kind of question, ask each other in the group. I'm not gonna answer unless I see something wrong. If you don't know something, ask each other. Ask brother, add brother Hassan in the group too, right? And then just try to answer each other's question. I'm gonna look at it, see, because that's how you will know better. Now, again, out of the 4 rules of the group, what is the group called?
Nun sakin.
Nun sakin and tanween. And what is the first rule of that group?
Izhar.
Izhar. Izhar means to
Clear.
read clearly, meaning what?
No.
No gunna. And how many letters of izhar are there?
6.
What are they?
Hamza,
Yeah. So these are the letters. This is something you have to memorize. That I can't like memorize it for you, right? So this is something very small that you have to memorize. If you don't know which letters are for izhar, then you're not gonna know when not to make gunna. Now, if you just know these letters, you will always know it's not gunna. Why? Because the letters of izhar. It's simple as that. Yeah. Now, next rule. Now, you guys can write that. If you want to write that right now, you can. But I think we just keep a little space and then write the next rule, which is called, second rule is called ikhfa. Write it. After this rule will be done, and then you guys can catch up with the other rule and write it down in your own words. Yeah. So it's called ikhfa. This is the second rule of. You know, like to me, izhar lagi suni.
Yeah.
Izhar shota lagi suni.
Yeah.
Oh, hele kili sacha dao, because. Wow, basically I'm saying things like 5 times, right? When I say it one time, you already know it. You can write that down already. You know, I'm repeating again and again so that you guys can understand. All right, so we have second rule of the first group of tajweed. Second rule we have is what called ikhfa. Now remember, izhar mean in Arabic. What did I say izhar mean in Arabic? Not really clearly, just
Show.
show. And ikhfa means to
Don't show.
say an English word. Ikhfa means to.
Don't show.
That is true, but how would you say in English? Normal.
Hide.
Izhar means to show. Ikhfa means to hide. Very simple. But again, in normal, you know, understanding, we will say ikhfa means to read with light gunna. You can write that down. Ikhfa means to read with light gunna or light nasal sound. Nasal sound, you guys already understand, right? Nasal sound. Nasal sound means gunna in English. So ikhfa means to in Arabic. Remember, I'm gonna ask you guys. This is bonus thing. Something I'm gonna ask you guys. That what does it mean in Arabic and what does it mean in like tajweed terms? You know. So again, it means to hide, and in tajweed, and I'll tell you how it means to hide when you learn this rule. Now we have ikhfa. It means to what in tajweed term? To read with light gunna. Remember we said how much gunna? Remember we said that? Now this will be light gunna. If we have light gunna, meaning we also have heavy gunna. And when do we do heavy gunna? You know, shadda. Remember you written that? That's when you do heavy gunna. And even in other terms, other times we'll do more gunna than ikhfa, but the heaviest gunna will be shadda. But then you'll have like other gunnas as well. It's more heavier than the gunna of ikhfa. Ikhfa is one of the hardest thing to do in Quran. Everyone thinks they're doing ikhfa. I know ulamas, I know huffaz, they're reading, they are not doing their ikhfa properly. They're just doing gunna, but they're not doing ikhfa gunna. Ikhfa gunna is what? Light gunna. Many people just try to go away with normal gunna. That's it. And what did I just do? No, don't mix it with that. Don't think like that. Okay, heavy and light in gunna doesn't mean length. Don't get, because look, I could do anna. Is that heavy or light?
It's light.
It's heavy.
It's light.
Remember, anna, heavy meaning you're reading noon with all its power. Light meaning you're taking a little bit of the sound, you're taking a little bit of it off. Now listen to this again. Yeah, look. If I say anta, did I take anything out of the noon or no?
No.
Now listen to this. Anta, did I take anything out?
Yes.
That's called light. Light nasal sound meaning, because nasal sound actually means obviously coming from, you know, gunna. Gunna has everything, most of them, gunna has everything to do with noon basically, right? So when you make the noon, the sound of noon light, that's basically what ikhfa is, right? You make sound of noon a little bit lighter. Again, don't get to it. You never heard that in your life because nobody knows that even, right? People just say things, just do it. But then people will learn it, people will read it, they will never know what it is. I have a student in my class, he has the best tajweed, but he has no idea what he's reading. He just knows how to do tajweed. He just knows it. He just knows. He's like, Masal, how's my tajweed? I was like, your tajweed is good, but you don't know anything. If I ask you, you don't know. Right? He's not on the rule. So again, ikhfa means to what? To make light. Now, light ghunna, what does light ghunna mean? Just remember that. Light ghunna meaning obviously making nasal sound, right? But not less nasal sound. Light nasal sound. When you say, let's say, anta, that's light or heavy? Heavy. Why? Because I'm giving noon, it's all of its power. And there's no way I can, I'm saying the full noon. But if I say,
Little part.
I'm not pronouncing noon, it's all of its
Power.
or all of its sound, basically, right?
Pronunciation.
Yeah, pronunciation. I'm not pronouncing noon exactly how it's supposed to, because you have an and you have an. Well, how to do this is a little hard. We'll get to that later, right? How to do ikhfa. Some people just get it right. Some people, I have a student who's a hafiz. He used to do it perfectly, but he never knew what to do. So in the middle, he started doing some random way. I was like, "What are you doing?" And then he had to go fix it again with some other student, right? But why? Because he was just doing it, but he didn't know what he was doing. He's just doing it. So again, so property of ikhfa. How many property meaning? How many letters, right? How many letters of ikhfa, Brother Hassan?
15, right?
15, right? You can write that. 15 letters of ikhfa. You're not gonna write the letters right now because it's gonna take forever. And you write that later, but we're just gonna learn it right now without actually writing the letters. Isn't it? 15 letters of ikhfa. Now, what they are, you guys should know it. If you don't know it, I'll tell you. You can write it down, but let's just go to the rule first. Let's just know that there's ta, tha, jim, dal, dal, za, sin, sin, shubut, all of that, right? Somebody, do you know it or no?
A little bit.
Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to forget what you did before, because sometimes when you're in the middle, you don't get anything.
100%.
So don't get me in the middle. Feel like you're doing it from the beginning again. And if you have some help from before, it's fine. But just remember that you didn't do it before. Just remember it like that. So you don't get confused. And you don't, I'm not always expecting you to know something. Right? So you can tell me that you do it from the beginning, and then we'll just do it like that. Because this is one of the worst things people do. They start from the middle. They don't know if they know. They don't know if they don't know. Right? So which is weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we have the 15 letters of ikhfa. Now, just guess. When do you think we do ikhfa? You. Nobody said anything else. Remember what I said in the beginning? When you know it's hard, it's literally the same thing for all the other rules.
So whenever
Except what changes?
sound
no.
after.
After nun sakin out,
What changes?
gunna comes in.
What changes?
Light.
Letters.
Huh?
Letters changes.
Oh.
That's what. And then you just basically the process of rules, how it works is same. For like it's
Like at the same time.
yeah.
It all happened afternoon, second, and tanween.
Yeah, that was the answer you just gave him. But anyways, so when do you think we will do ikhfa? Meaning what? We'll make like nasal sound. When will we do that?
Whenever there's noon sakin and then
Or
tanween.
or tan. So whenever there's noon second
or
or tan, meaning it could be this or it could be that, and then
15 letter.
and then you see one of the 15 letters or all the 15 letters.
Yeah, either.
Is it one of the 15 letters or all of them together? It has to be all of them together, or it has to be one.
One of
Either one.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Because 15 letters you're not gonna all come
Yeah.
together, right? So you have nun sakin or tanween. So if after nun sakin or tanween comes any of the 15 letters.
You do.
That's it.
You do ikhfa.
That's how much we know, right?
Yeah.
Now what do? We do ikhfa, right?
Yeah.
And what does ikhfa means?
Read it with the
Light.
Light nasal,
lightning.
right? Now how many does ikhfa? We'll get into that later. Did you understand the rule?
Yeah.
Same thing as it's hard. See, look, it's hard, same thing, right? After nun sukun and tanween comes any of the six letters of izhar, you make it
Clear.
clear.
Read it.
After nun sukun and tanween comes any of the 15 letters of izhar, you make it
Like
light nasal sound. Now, what are we making light nasal sound and what are we making read clearly?
The tanween or the nun sakin.
Remember that. That's something people give example. People think the letters are supposed to be. But if you really look at it, you will see the letters can be gunna, because only gunna could be only made in what? And noon or tanween. Other than that, you can make or meme too. Meme, because meme is kind of like noon, but you know. So noon sakin or tanween or meme. Other than that, 15 letters that you can make izhar, or you know, it doesn't make sense. Remember, when we're just learning rules of what? Either to make kunna or not make kunna. Simple as that, right? So that's what that's what we have, right? We have just have ikhfa. So again, let's give an example, right? Can you give an example of ikhfa? You know there are 15 letters of ikhfa, right?
Give an example.
Anta. Yes. Say it again.
Anta.
Ita kita.
Anta.
Good, very good. Do it again. So khalaw kita lagi. Muko gam nahi karka. Kita akan gam pala ya. Proshi fikre beta. So हम तुम पूरी आई ले. Oh no, very cool. If you just go over here, right. दा खोल gam nahi ya. Gam nahi lagaya wo is talut. So you have ta, sa. We know the word ta. Usually ta, sa, jim. That most of the letters are almost. Ta, sa, jim, dal, zal, za. There's no ra. Sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, da, fa, kaf. It's like so easy if you learn. These are the letters of ikhfa. Now, again, open the book, please. Open the Quran. If I could write those letters, it would be easier. But anyway, so mata tayo. But the second, you guys, you just memorize it. So again, so we're gonna look at ikhfa. Again, we have ta. Why don't we just say it like 1 or 2 times together, right? Ta, tha, jim.
Ta, tha, jim.
Ta, tha, jim. Dal, zal, za. Sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, dha, fa, qa, kaf. These are the 15 letters of Ra. Ra can be ikhfa. Try. Where's you find? So try to make gunna here. It can be, right? Ra is that letter. Za. Za would be a letter. Come on, fine. Ta, tha, jim, dal, zal.
I found one.
Yes.
Yes,
This is a very common ikhfa with fa. Fa is very common for ikhfa. Ikhfa is everywhere, by the way. You can find ikhfa anywhere, literally. You just
Wait, what about this?
read it.
Wala in ja.
Yes. After noon second came in,
Hindu.
jim.
Jim. Yeah.
Dekho na.
Dal,
Oh,
dal
dal.
is a letter of ikhfa, right?
Sana ta. So anta.
Dal.
Yeah.
Okay. So look.
Ya.
No.
No.
Okay. So it's a little weird if you don't learn the letters, right? But remember that just beginning letter, all of them. Ta, tha, jim. No ha, no kha, because these are letters of izhar, right? Dal, dal, not ra, za.
Half.
Yes. So you have what? Yeah, but you have to do what? The light nasal sound, right? Yes. Yeah. So you're not gonna say what? Min qablihim. You're not gonna say min qablihim. And you're not gonna say anta. You're gonna say anta. All right. So don't read. This is your Quran. All right. You have to change this Quran. You cannot have bangla in Quran. Yeah. No. So look. So you have an second, right? And what do you have after that? What letter is that? It's ayn. After no second came a ayn. Ayn is a of what?
This is
That's the proper
Is
one.
hard. So you're gonna say
I
what?
don't know how to do it.
An'amta or an'amta? Yes, an'amta. Very clear. Yeah. There's no in because ayn is a of is hard. Alright? So look, we're just gonna learn quickly how to read ikhfa, and then I'm gonna have you write down all the 15 letters of ikhfa. Right? So again, when you're reading ikhfa, everyone look, right? When you're reading ikhfa, what you're doing is basically when you look, everyone say an and hold. Just say an and hold. No, just and just stay like that. Don't move. Just stay. Now, you see how your tongue is touching the top?
Yeah.
So when you're doing ikhfa, and when you're saying an, your tongue will not be touching the top. It will be in the middle. Now, that's wrong, because sometimes I actually don't even know how to say it. You just have to say it, right? So it needs to be close, but not too far, and not touching. So look, say anta with touching. Say
Anta.
now that would be ikhfa, but not really ikhfa. So most of the people want to get away with this like this because they don't know how to do it. And when I say most of the people, I mean a lot of ikhfas too, right? Very unfortunate. So
Is it a sin?
well, I mean, you should try your best to read the Quran properly. I'm not gonna say sin or not, but all right. So again, so what you do is instead of saying the full noon properly, which is touching the top, you don't touch the top and leave it right behind, right? Like below the top. So you sort instead of anta, what are you gonna say? Anta, say you're touching.
Anta.
You're touching.
Anta.
Better, yeah.
Not impossible to make
Good.
it.
Good. No, you're touching. Don't touch your. Leave your tongue in the middle of nowhere. Datu lagay tana. Anta. Anta. You can touch your dot, but don't touch your tongue.
That's what I'm doing.
No, you're touching your tongue with your dot. You
Dot
touch
is
dot
also
to dot, but
very
not touch.
Like
Tongue doesn't touch anything at all.
Anta. Sabay ka lang.
Anta. We forget about nose. Nose will come when you say noon anyways. Like that. Say you said
Anta.
good. Good. Work on that. Work on that more. But this is how you do it, right? Let's do another letter. Let's say fat, right?
Oh, you say.
Okay, no. Remember this. It's very hard. Again, many people don't know how to do this. When you're doing ikhfa of fa, meaning what? Does anybody know what that means? When I say when you're doing ikhfa of fa, what does that mean?
When the fat comes after doing second.
Exactly. This might not be a term, but I'm just making it up. When you do ikhfa of fa, meaning when fa comes in, yeah, right? What you need to do is before you even say fa, while you're making gunna, you need to have your mouth in a position where you're about to say fa. Can you do it? Yeah, like, look, when you say fa and just stop in the middle. No, don't say it, just stop. Stop. Like that. When you're saying fa, ikhfa of fa, you need to make your mouth like this while you're doing gunna. Look. Fa. Why make such a weird sound?
I'm trying to not touch it. You mean kita complicated kita ulit din ito.
Okay, don't make it complicated. It's not complicated at all, okay? Yeah, like that. Listen, so exactly like that. Do it again. Exactly, but don't make too much movement.
That's what I'm
I'm not moving. Fast. Stop.
Come on.
How did you know?
Kurang jadi
Bolot,
bodoh.
baby.
Asyik. Kurang jadi
Itu
bodoh.
wasn't like
Fa.
exactly. Do it again.
Fa.
Yeah, just the noon sound. We're gonna work on that later. Again. So that's how it is. Izhar ikhfa. Do you guys understand izhar ikhfa?
Yeah.
Let's go back. Shh, quiet. Let's go back all the way, guys. We don't have time. We're gonna pray a shot before we go. Okay. So go back all the way. What are the main things we're gonna be learning while we're learning tajweed? Two main things.
Gunna and how to make when to make long.
How long to make gunna? When not to
When
make
not to.
Two things is
Exactly.
gunna and making long.
Or not to make a noise.
Yeah. So basically, gunna and
Making
long.
long, yeah.
So if you have gunna, you have no gunna either,
Yeah.
right? And if you're long, you also have not to make it long, right? But the rule is actually to know to make gunna and then know to make long.
Long, yeah.
Because everything is by default short until there's something to prove that it is long. Remember that. That's one rule you need to know.
Yeah.
Every time we read, we're like, you know how we do like a song thing, right? So when you read like that rhythm, we make random things long and short, right?
Yeah.
So everything is short except proven to be long.
Oh.
Remember that. everything is just, if it's it's a. It's never a until it's something's there to make it a. I said, if you say alhamdu, right? There's nothing making dal wrong. If you say alhamdu, it doesn't work, right? Now if you say lillahi, why are we saying lillahi? Anybody? Why are we saying lillahi?
Well, sometimes there's like kharab.
Khala zabur is called standing fatha. Standing zabur or standing fatha. Yeah, right? So when you guys do this, right on top, ikhbari or ufrenani. Ikhbari all the way top, right? Zabur equal to fatha, zaid equal to kasra, and you don't have to write that because that's the only thing you know, right? Zabur, you don't know zabur.
Zabur equal to?
Zabur equal to fatha, Fatha.
Then
And then zaid equal to kasra. And I have Pesh equal to
Kasra.
yeah,
Pesh equal to
Dhamma.
Pesh.
Why do we say like that?
I don't even know why we say it like that, but this is what it is. These are the terms. Fatha.
So if I tell any of my Arab friends
Kasra.
the words there,
No,
so it's not an Arabic word.
It's not at all.
What's
Zero.
that Pesh?
So remember, from now on, I don't want to hear Zabur. I don't want to hear Zer or
Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma.
Alright. And now, who knows the 15? You know the 15 letters? We have the 15 letters. Can you just tell them and everyone write the 15 letters down? You want to write the letters or do you guys are you gonna write
They're
it?
gonna be quick, but
Ba, ta, ba na to.
Right now.
Wait,
Yes, look, you wrote it. Hey, look, you wrote it. How you guys not gonna go through it?
Because
Look how
he's
nicely
a
you
good
wrote.
person and he's smart.
You wrote that, right?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
This is no, not now though. This is some time ago.
Doesn't matter. You wrote it.
Oh, can I just see the thing?
Inshallah, you want to take a picture, inshallah, or what?
No, I mean, I forgot the. If I see the letters, I'll know what it is, but like, I can't write it.
I'll just write it in English right now.
Ta, tha,
Ta.
jim, dal, gal, za, sin, shin, swad, bod, pa, za, pa, af,
So
kaf.
tajweed है, they're just learning some tajweed.
Kasa,
Jim.
Ta, tha, jim, dal,
Kasa, Jim,
Zal, zal,
Tal,
dal, zal, za.
Tal, Dal.
Yeah, dal, zal, za. खलके बोर्ड हम लोग make sure.
Tal, Dal. Kasa, Jim, Tal, Dal.
Oh, the boy, hope you got the smart. How you like it?
letto da Mariana.
Na like it. Kuna sort like it.
Khuyalo, khuyalo.
Ta, ta, jim,
Jim, Tal, Dal.
za.
Za,
Sin, shin,
Sin,
pa, af, kaf. You will know. Swad. Kaf, I think it's tuning, right? Now, right?
Doa, Toa,
Okay. But you so you know how to
Dua.
see it when you see
Toa,
it.
Doa,
But you don't know why
Doa,
or why to read. Okay.
Fa,
Dua.
No, I'm I'm writing left to right.
804? Oh, 8:15 namaz. Oh, okay. That's all. Why am I rushing? Okay, 8:15 namaz to time is over. अच्छा अच्छा लिख लो
Abita Risha. Fa, Abita.
fa qaf
Ta, tha, jim, dal, za, za,
Kaf,
sin, shin,
Abita.
sad, pa, pa, af, kaf.
ta za you missed
Fa,
za
fa, za.
ta za fa qaf
I did that before.
sabhi ko se kita 15 letters
Abita, Sa, Jim, Tal,
So,
Dal,
Dal.
Za,
At the crib chilling.
so dal but then dal remember that
Zal.
we learned dal
Zal,
dal
You
Za, Sin, Shin, Swad, Dual, Toa, Zwa, Fa, Kaf, Kaf.
Ta, tha, jim, dal, zal, za.
zal na
Sorry. Ta, tha, jim, dal, zal, za, sin, shin, swad, ba, ta, ba, ta, ba,
Fala English pronunciation आएगा.
fa, af, kaf.
you guys will know it, don't worry about the conversation so these are the 50 so ikhfa now these are the 50 so ikhfa now tomorrow every time you write something always after like each paragraph have like a line or two open because you might have something new. Yeah, I'll put like a example or something like that, right? If you have like a rule or something, when you're done a rule or even a part of rule, have some like a line or two empty. Keep a line or two empty for the first. You get a session go mandala. You solen ni namne boy dise. Okay. So এখন যদি কেউ যদি আইতা চাইন তাহলে তাদের কই ওগুই কি আইতা
Okay.
ওগুই কা আইলে আইন দিনা নাইলে আইও তাহলে আপনি আসা যান
Okay. Come or don't come. Question.
How long is that video, man?
Brother, video 75 minutes.
Cut it off.
75.
75 minutes
It's gonna be 30 minutes.
Now I go to ask you to beginning go to after Jorani, no?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
But when you guys get into a little rhythm, you can go faster. First there is
End kila karo ni kanto janna ba.
and for
Unable to.
Okay, time to recap.
Jesus.
You know,